everyone, and welcome back to Financial Podcast. I'm your host, Olivia, and today we're diving deep into a truly groundbreaking development that's shaking up both the media and cryptocurrency worlds. We're talking about Trump Media and Technology Group, the parent company behind Truth Social, making a massive play in the Bitcoin market. The company recently announced a deal that could see them build one of the largest Bitcoin treasuries held by a publicly traded company. This isn't just a small investment, it's a significant strategic shift involving a substantial amount of capital. The core of this announcement revolves around a private placement offering aimed at raising approximately $2.5 billion. This capital raise isn't coming from just anywhere. It involves subscription agreements with around 50 institutional investors. Looking at the structure of this offering, it's a mix of equity and debt. Specifically, it includes about $1.5 billion through the issuance and sale of the company's common stock, and $1.0 billion from principal amount of 0.00% convertible senior secured notes. The expected completion date for this offering is set for around May 29th, 2025, provided the usual closing conditions are met. The stated purpose for raising such a substantial amount of money is quite clear: to use the proceeds specifically for the creation of a Bitcoin treasury. This is a strategic decision that positions the company to hold cryptocurrency as a central part of its assets moving forward. The company's leadership, including CEO Devin Nunes, has been quite vocal about the rationale behind this move. Nunes described Bitcoin as an apex instrument of financial freedom and referred to this investment as the first acquisition of a crown jewel asset. He also framed the decision in part as a defensive strategy. The company suggests that holding Bitcoin will help protect it against what they perceive as ongoing harassment and discrimination by financial institutions that they claim affect many Americans and businesses. Beyond the defensive aspect, this Bitcoin treasury is also expected to create operational synergies. The company plans to integrate Bitcoin and potentially other digital assets into its platforms, including Truth Social and Truth Plus. This could involve supporting subscription payments, potentially launching a utility token, and facilitating other transactions. This isn't the first time we've seen a public company allocate a significant portion of its treasury to Bitcoin. Firms like MicroStrategy popularized this strategy starting in 2020. However, this $2.5 billion commitment is notable for its sheer size and the public profile of the company involved. It signals a growing trend, especially among businesses that align with certain political viewpoints, to adopt Bitcoin-heavy treasury strategies. The announcement comes at an interesting time in the crypto market, with Bitcoin itself nearing record high values. It also coincided with a major gathering of digital asset enthusiasts, the Bitcoin 2025 conference held recently in Las Vegas. Events like these help to solidify the image of certain political figures as being increasingly pro-crypto. Indeed, this move by Trump Media appears to be part of a broader, evolving engagement with the cryptocurrency space by entities affiliated with President Donald Trump. His stance on crypto has visibly shifted over time, moving from past skepticism to expressing support for digital assets, including NFTs and mining. He's also become the first major presidential candidate to accept campaign donations in cryptocurrency and has launched his own personalized token. This growing involvement deepens the overall footprint of his business empire in the significant and rapidly evolving cryptocurrency market. The strategic implications are manifold. By tying his media venture so closely to Bitcoin, the president is not only sending a message to voters who are interested in crypto, but also potentially challenging traditional financial norms and institutions. This strategic alignment could also have benefits for the company's platforms like Truth Social. It might help attract a new audience of crypto investors and tech-savvy individuals, potentially boosting user engagement, market value, and overall influence for the company. Trump Media's evolution goes beyond just holding Bitcoin. The company is actively seeking to expand into financial services and fintech, aligning with the America First economic principles it espouses. As part of this expansion, the company has already formed a partnership with Crypto.com. This collaboration is intended to bring a series of exchange traded funds, or ETFs, and other digital asset products to the market later this year, pending regulatory approvals. These planned ETFs are expected to include baskets of cryptocurrencies, such as Bitcoin and Crypto.com's native token, Kronos, alongside more traditional securities. The intention is for these funds to be branded under Trump media and offered globally through major brokerage platforms and the Crypto.com app, which boasts a very large user base. The expansion into financial services also reflects a growing sentiment among certain political groups regarding perceived discrimination by traditional banking institutions against conservative businesses and individuals. Leaders in the crypto industry have also voiced concerns on Capitol Hill about facing difficulties accessing banking services, sometimes referred to as debanking, during the current administration. Trump himself has expressed frustrations with major banks, accusing them of excluding conservative clients. The launch of Truth.fi, the company's fintech brand, and the increasing popularity of cryptocurrencies linked to political figures, including the president, appear to be a response from the private sector to these perceived challenges. This isn't just about one company's treasury. It reflects a broader political movement and its allies in the crypto space who are exploring new financial strategies and potentially building alternative financial ecosystems outside of traditional institutions. Other Trump-affiliated entities have also been active in the crypto world. For instance, World Liberty Financial, another entity connected to the president, has reportedly built up its own significant crypto holdings. Furthermore, a Bitcoin-focused company called American Bitcoin, co-founded by Eric Trump, the president's son, recently took steps to go public on Wall Street. This demonstrates a pattern of increasing engagement with digital assets across the family's business interests. The concept of building a large Bitcoin treasury for a company is not new. As mentioned earlier, MicroStrategy has been a pioneer here. However, this initiative appears to be turbocharged by the political movement and the specific network of crypto allies surrounding the president. Figures like David Bailey, described as a trusted crypto advisor to the Trump administration and an architect behind another Trump-linked Bitcoin project called Nakamoto Holdings, are actively involved in pursuing strategies focused on increasing Bitcoin holdings. Bailey has described their approach as aiming to significantly increase Bitcoin per share. While the financial implications of this move are substantial, it's worth noting the company's current financial state. Despite the $2.5 billion raise and a market capitalization of approximately $5.3 billion, Trump media reported only $3.6 million in revenue and a significant loss of $400 million in 2024. Prior to this offering, the company had liquid assets, including cash, cash equivalents, and short-term investments, totaling $759.0 million as of the end of the first quarter of 2025. The completion of this $2.5 billion offering is expected to significantly increase its total liquid assets, potentially to over $3 billion, largely in the form of Bitcoin. The market's initial reaction to this news saw shares of Trump media, trading under the ticker BJT, fall by about 10% following the announcement. This adds to the volatility the stock has experienced, with shares reportedly down nearly 30% year to date at the time of the announcement. The custody of the massive Bitcoin treasury is a crucial logistical detail. The company confirmed that the Bitcoin will be held with two established digital asset platforms, Anchorage Digital and Crypto.com. This choice is notable, especially considering the existing partnership with Crypto.com for the planned ETF launches. Overall, this move is far more than just a corporate investment in an asset class. It intertwines corporate finance, political strategy, technological innovation, and the ongoing debate about the future of the financial system. It highlights the increasing intersection of politics, media, and cryptocurrency, and sets a precedent for how political branding and digital asset integration can be combined in the corporate world. The success of this strategy, both financially and politically, remains to be seen, but the announcement itself is a significant event in both spheres. The deal is viewed by the company as a step towards transforming into a holding company that acquires additional crown jewel assets that align with their stated principles. This suggests that the Bitcoin Treasury may be the first of several strategic acquisitions aimed at expanding the company's reach and influence within its defined economic ecosystem. The size of the offering, particularly the $1.5 billion in common stock sold at the last market price and $1.0 billion in convertible notes with a 35% conversion price point, provides specific details about the structure of this capital raise. The participation of approximately 50 institutional investors underscores the scale and nature of this placement. The transaction is a private placement, meaning the securities were sold directly to a select group of investors rather than through a public offering. This is a common method for companies seeking to raise large amounts of capital quickly from sophisticated investors. The team facilitating the deal included several placement agents, such as Yorkville Securities, Clear Street LLC, BTIG LLC, and Cohen Company Capital Markets, along with Cantor Fitzgerald and CO as a financial advisor and legal counsel from Nelson Mullins Riley in Scarborough LLP and Reed Smith LLP. The decision to hold Bitcoin as a core treasury asset is a bold one, reflective of high conviction in the long-term value and strategic utility of the digital currency. It aligns the company with the growing segment of the financial and political landscape that views Bitcoin as a hedge against traditional financial systems and a tool for greater financial independence. The planned utility token and other blockchain-powered features across Truth Social and Truth Plus suggest that Bitcoin holding is not just a treasury management decision, but also a foundational element for future product development and user engagement strategies within the company's platforms. This move by Trump Media is a clear signal that cryptocurrencies, particularly Bitcoin, are moving further into the mainstream and becoming intertwined with broader economic and political narratives, especially those centered around themes of financial freedom and resistance to perceived institutional bias. It reflects a strategic pivot for a media company looking to leverage digital assets to diversify its business model and align with its core audience's interests and values. The implications extend beyond the company itself, potentially influencing other politically aligned businesses and further accelerating the adoption of Bitcoin treasury strategies in the corporate world. It underscores the growing importance of cryptocurrency as a tool for capital allocation and strategic positioning in the current financial and political climate. This complex transaction, involving a mix of stock and convertible debt, highlights the innovative ways companies are seeking to raise capital and integrate digital assets into their operations and balance sheets. The use of convertible notes adds another layer of financial engineering, allowing investors the option to convert their debt into equity under certain conditions, typically linked to the stock price performance. The narrative of combating financial discrimination provides a strong ideological backdrop for the investment, resonating with the specific audience and framing the adoption of Bitcoin as a principled stand against perceived systemic biases. This framing is key to understanding the company's stated motivations beyond pure financial gain. The announcement has certainly garnered significant attention, placing Trump Media at the forefront of public companies making large-scale Bitcoin commitments. It remains to be seen how this strategy will impact the company's financial performance and its ability to execute on its ambitious plans for expanding its fintech and digital asset offerings. The involvement of prominent figures and entities from the president's orbit further highlights the political dimension of this financial move. The conference attendance and private dinners with token holders illustrate the intertwined nature of his political brand and his ventures in the cryptocurrency space. This development solidifies the president's image as a proponent of digital assets, a label that could resonate with a significant segment of the population, especially younger voters and those seeking alternatives to traditional financial systems. Ultimately, the success and full impact of this $2.5 billion Bitcoin treasury plan will unfold over time, but the announcement itself marks a significant moment in the convergence of media, finance, technology, and politics. It's a bold strategy with potentially far reaching consequences for the company and the broader digital asset ecosystem. Thank you for tuning in to Financial Podcast. I'm Olivia, and we'll continue to track these fascinating developments in the financial world. See you next time.